This game is going to be quality. I can promise it. I can't actually promise that. I have no control over it, but I'm going to promise it anyways because it's going to make the thing interesting. 1v1 game, low elo legends. We have a map we don't see too frequently in low elo. And we have part-time gamer at 804 elo. Part-time gamer, not a full-time gamer, a part-time gamer playing as the Burgundians. And then in the red, we've got the Koreans for Fantastic. The map is Golden Swamp. I'm going to give you some tips on how to play this map. One of the tips I'm going to give you is probably going to lead to the devs having to make changes to how they make the map script work. That's going to be fun to talk about later on. But this is a map that has a lot of food with 150 food per water buffalo, and then you have 400 food per rhino. As you see, there's 2 there. You have plenty of wood, you have plenty of gold, and you have plenty of stone, and then eventually you'll want to control the water in the middle. So you can consider this a bit of a hybrid map. You have things that you can do with land and then also with the water. So we could see players dock. We could see players still go for archers and scouts. And okay. All right. Blue bringing in the rhino. He's a part-time gamer, guys. Let's see how this goes. Part-time, smart time. Well done there, my friend. Well done. Now, the TC was idle the entire time. But not too bad for blue. All right. Also, I think red didn't lose a villager. Excuse me. That was just the rhino blood. So red brings in the rhino as well. So what I would suggest for this map is play towards your strengths. For some people, they might be more of a commitment type player where they would be okay with sending a lot on wood and a lot on gold, dropping some docks, and just spamming ships, right? You might not be a big eco player. If you're not a big economy player, then maybe you go that route. But also, if you're not a big fan of water, you don't necessarily need to take it. I wouldn't necessarily suggest playing into archers on this map all that much, but you could play into something like scouts or man-at-arms or drush, whatever. And melee units in general are going to do pretty good against any fishing ships that might be out there. I noticed blue is Burgundians, and I don't know if these players have picked their civilizations or if it was random civ, but you can research your wood upgrade. Aha! You can research your wood upgrade in the Dark Age with Burgundians. So blue showing that he understands his civilization. And now I'm even more interested because that tells me that if blue knows Burgundians, now this is not to say that a part-time gamer can't random into Burgundians and know how Burgundians work, but I'm just going to assume that blue, seeing as the order of events made sense so far, I'm going to assume that he picked this, and this is not a random civ game. And then maybe Fantastic, if we get lucky, we'll want to go for towers, or maybe even something crazy like a turtle ship later on. Sorry, I can't speak. There's the dock. Okay. Ricky says Fantastic loves his Koreans. 7-2 with them, so it looks like a civ pick. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so remember that point where I said that the devs are going to have to make a change to how this map works, and I'm going to give you a tip to make someone else's life horrible? Okay, we're at 6 minutes. 1 second. We're going to go back to here. Guys, you have to understand that if you do this, I can't be blamed, okay? If this happens to you, get mad at your opponent and not me, okay? But for some reason, the rhinos almost always spawn on the front, and they're almost always together. This is really, really bad when the players are quite close together. And so if you wanted to, again, if you wanted to, you don't have to, you wanted to be a lamer boy, you could actually send a villager forward, wall it in, and you could shoot both these things down and lame both of them. Or if you want to get real crazy and have a civ like Berbers, and if you do this, post in-game submissions, by the way, because I want to see it. Pick Berbers, fast villagers, run forward, steal the rhinos. Your opponent probably won't want to stay in the game for very long. Now, that might be tweaked at some point. That has been the case for years. I know that's a thing because when we did Golden Swamp for the recent event, T90 Titans League, I looked at the script and said, okay, that's bad, we got to tweak this and that, and that was one of the things. Now, speaking of things that are not so ideal, our part-time gamer has had a lot of idle time on the TC. 2 minutes. So is working with the Dark Age wood upgrade, but 2 minutes of TC idle time is good. I'm going to set you back. Well, red is actually dropping off the fish with 3 villagers to the dock, but hasn't added fishing ships. Interesting game so far. Yo, Pete, thank you for the stars. He says, hi, T90, new to the game. I've been basing my play style off some pro called MBL. Problem is, I can't seem to get past 15 pop due to the lack of houses. Wow, we're just like unnecessarily throwing MBL under the bus for no reason. He says, been enjoying your content for ages. Cheers, man. Yo, thank you. For ages, get it? Ha, funny. No, I mean, Blue's having the same problem. Like, Blue, I think, forgot to make a house at 10 pop, and then forgot to make a house at 15 pop, and now is going to forget to make a house at 20 pop. So, maybe, you know, if you're a part-time gamer, maybe he's a full-time something, full-time worker man, full-time student. I don't know. It could be full-time dancer, for all I care. But yeah, Blue clearly doesn't remember well, houses as much as maybe they need to. Blue has all the buffaloes out here. You can tell that Blue is practicing sending in the buffaloes one after a time. But back to the whole laming conversation, you might want to have them a little closer to the TC. Just in case. Blue's going to make the house now. And Blue's deciding to get wheelbarrow. Wow. Again, Burgundians are the only civilization that can research their eco upgrades at age earlier. It's also discounted as well. So it's a sick eco civ. But to see wheelbarrow in Dark Age is definitely very rare. All right, so far, looking at Red's base. Kind of feels like Red could go fast castle. Wait a second. Wait a second. Hold on, I have to rewind. Oh, no. He canceled it. So he could have clicked Feudal Age. But then Wheelbarrow was on the way at 35%, and he's like, ah, dang, this takes way longer than I thought. Let's just go feudal. I mean, you get the resources back, but that is essentially, you know, you're now down what could be a villager or two because you could have done a lot with that time. Anyways, that's funny. I'm really enjoying watching Blue so far. Obviously, things are not going to be perfect. Things are not going to be well balanced at low elo, but players certainly going to have an idea of how to play it at 800 elo. You know, you've got some strats down. This feels like this villager's going to make a barracks out here. Players might be hyper-focused on the middle. And Red is making a lot of houses. You can tell Red's kind of building a line of houses towards, or I guess in front of the TC. It adds fishing ships. I think Red's going to try some type of fast castle play here, but we're going to have a lot of stone and a lot of gold by the time that Red gets the food. Have walls from Blue. Okay, Blue Scout. Oh, Gold Miner in the middle. Interesting. Blue Scout still scouting. All right. So an important thing to bring up on this map is it is not like Gold Rush where you need to rush to the middle gold as quickly. Gold Rush, you have 7 tiles of gold at your base. Now, I'm really bad at math, so bear with me here. But we have 4, we have 5, and then we have 4. So that's 13. So you've got double the amount of gold to work with. You could fully boom in your base, no problem. And Blue says, you know what? I'm going to take some gold at home as well. Little bit of this, little bit of that, little bit of everything. Blue's still scouting around. Blue immediately getting the Castle Age wood upgrade, so all about these upgrades. Hasn't seeded any farms yet. Hopefully... Oh, no, Horsecar is already in, so yeah, that should be fine. Again, it feels like both players have an idea of how to play their Civ. Now, Blue has struggled because Blue didn't add fish. Oh, wow, look at Red. Red's going to run forward. Red had scouted that villager in the middle, and Red's going to drop a tower. That's what I was thinking with Koreans. I was thinking towers, turtle ships, castle drops. You're not going to see pro players pick Koreans these days on this type of map, but they are, I would say they're a solid mid-tier civilization for it. Be really good in situations where you need to control an area. And also, one of the most annoying civilizations to play against. I really have not enjoyed playing against the civilization over the years. All right, Blue also doesn't have loom, so these villagers could go down. I think Blue will have time to react, though. Blue's going to hear the attack signal. And there you go. That's a part-time reaction right there. And Blue says, well, okay, good idea. I'm going to make my own tower. And here comes a scout from Blue. And Blue is now attacking the tower. So Red's going to make another tower here. Blue's decision to attack the tower is kind of funny to me. My red is definitely working up towards the next age, but red doesn't have the blacksmith, and there it is. So it's going to take red a little bit of time. But red should be in Castle Age faster, and red will have gold control. And both players are putting a lot of focus on this, so I think blue might get discouraged. See, blue gets inside the tower, red gets inside the tower. I guess this tower doesn't range this scout. It's actually kind of an interesting talking point here, because red could eventually lose this tower. Loom for blue. Oh, okay, there's what looks like auto scout for red. Yeah, that is definitely auto scout for red. And we could see Castle Age again for both players here in a moment. Red needs to click up. You can tell how they started to freak out a little bit. When they started to do other things, their economy started to fall apart. Now, I know it's cheap, blue, but do you really need to get the gold mining upgrade right now? I feel like rushing to Castle Age would be really important in this moment. Okay, this tower is getting shot down. Blue's being stubborn. I think you're going to have to give up on this one, blue. Wow, the moves. Oh, and fletching's now in, so blue's going to lose the scout. There you go. Scout's dead. So an important thing that you need to think about if you're low elo is you got to understand when you've been bested. And I'm not talking about resigning. I'm talking about, in this type of scenario, right? Not being super stubborn and keeping your villagers there is really important. Also, clicking up to Castle Age can be really important. There goes blue. All right. Okay, so this scout getting shot by the TC. Blue's in a great spot. If blue can use all this wood income that is coming from the eco upgrades to start to farm like crazy, it could be amazing for the food eco. Remember, red, though, has been fishing. There's 6 fishing ships that brought in, I'm going to just guesstimate, like 500 to 800 food. And red could also drop a castle. And I feel like with guard tower upgrade being free and then a castle drop, I think it's going to be really tough for blue. I talk about it a lot, though. If someone castles and towers the middle, you can always hit their base. So I hope that blue will maybe use that tip. Blue also might be saving up for a castle here. We'll see. Yeah, no feudal age military in this one. Interesting. So, something I wanted to tell you guys. This is a little embarrassing. So, my friends and I occasionally go to trivia. And when I say that, they go more frequently than I do because I am here with you guys. And sometimes I'm just too tired to go out and do stuff. But when I'm there, we have a team name. And the majority of the group is into, like, marine biology. Obviously, that's not me, right? And so, back when we started, this is an embarrassing team name. I'm embarrassed to be associated with this name. But our trivia team name was Fantastic. Which, again, it's a little cheesy, not going to lie. If they were to hear me making fun of the team name, they might banish me from the group. But, yeah, so I saw this name. I was like, that's kind of funny. We got 4 towers in the middle for Fantastic. And I am about as bad at trivia as you guys would expect. Guy who lived a sheltered life and then has spent the last decade only on Age of Empires 2. Not so good at trivia. Not so good at trivia. Even when it comes to other video games, they immediately look at me. I'm like, don't ask me. That's not Age of Empires. Okay, so we have knights for blue. Red made another tower, so red's not able to make a castle yet. Now, I think a safe play and a really fun outlook at times is red is even going for a TC. Wow, so red wants to boom a little bit. But since you already have the middle secured with towers, you could just make the castle at home, which would leave you protected, and then you can make wagons from it to protect the middle if you need to. Be curious to see what red's approach is. Also, red, no farm upgrades at all. The fishing ships are certainly getting a little bit less efficient. Blue going to add the second town center, and blue also going for some siege. So we'll see. I mean, blue still struggling with the whole house thing. Blue could build up a sizable force here with knights, combined with a few rams, and push the middle. So this timing and decision-making, very important all around here. The one time there's an AV2 question, you'll be a hero. Nah, the questions are never, even when it comes to the things our group specializes in, it's just never good, man. We're like, I think the youngest group that goes Like, I don't know if trivia is a thing that a lot of you guys do. I really enjoy it, but like, it's definitely not the how do I put this delicately? It's for old people, right? At least like the places we've gone, usually it's like people at the youngest are in their 40s that are there. So like we're mid to late 20s, and so we struggle sometimes with some of these. We don't do bad. We're still like middle of the pack. We've got second once, you know, it's not awful, but sometimes I'm just like, what on earth are these questions? It's good though, you know, you have a beer too, get some snacks, and then you get to get a bunch of questions wrong. It's pretty fun. Okay, so here comes the ram. And red. Finish the castle. Red. Fantastic. Don't worry about the tower, my friend. Finish the castle. He really wanted to keep that tower up, and look at blue. So blue has military, and blue's going to drop a castle now, and red, you've got to go finish that, my friend. Oh my god, you're kidding me. Fantastic. Fantastic. The castle is sitting here at 65%. Blue didn't even know that you were building that, I don't think. Oh, no, he did because he had vision from the mining camp. You would have been fine. And blue clicked man-at-arms, probably meant to click pikeman, immediately panicking. Is like, how do I counter this? I got to make some spears. Also, I said blue when we're clearly looking at red. My bad. First game of the day. Now, funny thing is, the towers are going to shoot the ram down. And Fantastic should have enough to still finish this castle. And here comes Fantastic with the villagers. So this is really good for our entertainment, because I think if red would have just casually built the castle, no problem, and not made that mistake, red would have a much bigger lead right now. But I think it's going to be an interesting game where blue doesn't know exactly what to do when the castle's up. Red doesn't know exactly what to do. I guess once this castle's up, this tower will go down. Blue could mine this gold. I don't know if blue can comfortably mine this gold. So red could probably get more of the middle is my point, because red could mine over here. Yo, what's up, Miguel? Welcome. Also, I love this. It looks like blue is going for a counterattack. The player who's not even found his opponent's base in this game. Who's not going to be too tunnel visioned. And now red, I mean, red is just so stubborn with these towers. Red, just give it up. Remember, I talked about it earlier with blue losing that tower war. Sometimes you've just got to give it up. Part-time gamer, buying food. Just imagine how good his eco would be if he was a full-time gamer. Crazy. 2 TCs pumping out vills. Full Castle Age wood and farm upgrade. His eco is looking really good. I'm liking the flow. Also, red has quite a few villagers inside of this castle. And red is going... Okay, blue's knight has just passed over. I guess he's scouting with the knight and not going to attack. But yeah, like, red's got to work at this. Red's got to deal with this, and I'm sure it's really annoying. These villagers are not working right now for red. Villagers going down as well. Spearman could go down. Red's like, you will not mine with that mining camp. Thank you. And so some mistakes that some people might see as seem as frustrating, or see as frustrating. I can't speak. But it's 800 elo. And when your plan gets ruined, sometimes you don't know what to do. You can get hyper-focused on one area of the map, and you forget about the other things. And I think this part-time gamer has done a better job of worrying about the other things. I think he's now paid attention to the mini-map, and he sees, oh, yeah, I ran through the guy's base, and he's going to show up with the knight. Soon to be Cavalier, as we see Elite Skirmisher and War Wagons. So, some unit variety here for red. Okay, so this knight's now gonna attack. Oh, blue. Blue, come on. He's got nothing, man. He's just setting waypoints and scouting the map. Which does make sense. It's not a bad thing. That's a really good thing to do. But also, killing units with a Cavalier could be awesome. That's funny. Well, right now, I think red's strategy is to take this castle out. Red does have Bodcanero, which blue does as well. But he's sending units inside of his castle, so it's 4,600 HP versus 3,400. And we also have a ram. So this could be, we could have a few more rams coming out, and it could be the end of blue's castle. Blue is switched into archer ranges. And when you have this type of economy, I would really like to see players commit to upgrades for what they've already started to make. And that's good. I like to see this now. Feels like when I mention it, Blue always thinks about it. Blue, realizing this wood line's a problem, is going to relocate the wood line. Good stuff. Full Rams and Army from both players could be the play here. The problem is they're not really sure if they want to do it or not. I think Red's also flirting with the idea of going, okay, here we go. Blue, attack. Blue, attack, please. Please. Okay, Red even noticed. Red attacked you. Get angry. Blue, please, please attack. Kill the villagers. No, he's not paying attention. All right, there goes the Cavalier. That's the third time. I mean, he's really paying attention to the scouting. I will respect him for that. Maybe this is why you don't click your scout on that tower in the early stages of the game, because if you had the scout, I'd be more okay with this. Third time, he's just run right through this guy's open base. And Red is actually prepping army now. Like, Red is sending army for a Cavalier that's simply a scout. Okay, the War Wagons hop out. Really good job from Red. He hopped out with only the War Wagons. War Wagons are not the best against Rams, but still it will do the job. Red's also on the way to the Imperial Age. Blue's got 3,000 gold. I think the players have probably collected similar amounts of resources. But what are you spending right now? For Blue, he could have a lot of Cavalier with that. But it's just now adding the second stable. In the ranges, I think Blue is maybe getting a little too excited. Wait, did the Cavalier die? Guys, where did the Did we miss the Cavalier? Did he go back home? I'm not sure what happened to that Cavalier. But man, if he would have gone with the Cavalier to his opponent's base, but he's done a really good job. Is repairing his castle, though. Over 90 seconds away from the next stage is Fantastic, and Fantastic has made quite a bit of army this game. We've got the Pikemen, which is not a bad choice. We also have the War Wagons, which is not so bad. Another castle for Blue. So very focused on the middle, and now Blue's on the way to Imp. Obviously, a big difference between the two Imp times, though. Let's talk upgrades. So for Red, I'd like to see Bracer come in. It affects the castle, and that seems to be a strategy, but also it affects the War Wagons. I feel like additional armor upgrades would also be really good. Armor or attack for the Pikemen. And then for Blue, you know, Burgundians do have decent range units. Here's the scout again, just running right through Red's base. There he goes, just scouting around. Red did make an army for this. There's no hole this time. And the scout's going to die. Yeah, I don't mind the decision to add the archer ranges. But I do not like to see the resources this high. Red. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Red's going in before he gets any upgrades here. Feels like Red gets a little overexcited sometimes. Hits the Imperial Age. And now is now running underneath two castles. Does not have any imp upgrades that have been researched. You do get the armor for free with the Koreans, so that's helping. But no trebuchet. You know, there's double castle now from Blue. I think he probably saw the double castle and freaked out about it. But that's actually going to be very good for Blue, who is making more Cavalier now. It's a close game. 75 pop versus 79. I'll tell you what, though. Red has definitely fallen behind because of that choice there. Still isn't making trebuchets. And is now repairing this castle, despite being the player in the Imperial Age first. Burgundian Vineyards for Part-Time Gamer. Part-Time Gamer knows his stuff. That actually brings you in some gold income from your farms with Burgundians. It's really OP. Like, it's really, really strong, combined with everything else from Burgundians, but we don't talk about it that much in competitive games because of everything else Burgundians have that's stupid strong. Like, Burgundians are definitely at a point where they're going to see a nerf. In some way. They're not going to change the full Civ's identity, but this civilization has so much going for it. And let's see what Part-Time Gamer chooses to use, because you could get Paladin right now. The stable upgrades are 50% off. I mean, even if it was full-price Paladin, Blue could soon research it. Definitely feels like that elo where additional production buildings is always important. Spending your resources is always important. And then, of course, decision-making. And I think the decision-making has helped both players and hurt both players at various instances in this game. What is blue going to do? Well, blue sees the treb. Blue says, I don't like that treb. Now, remember, if there were pikemen wagons, this could be something you could defend pretty easily. It's a tough little choke point, though. It's still double castle. Blue's going to take out one treb. Probably worth it if he gets both. And yikes. Yikes. Castles are so strong, man. And there's a lot of wood there for you, blue. He is getting the imp armor, which would be very helpful. Also has a trebuchet. They both have about 4 or 5 on stone. And now what's red going to do? Red says, okay, but I don't like trebs, so I'm going to go attack the trebs. Difference is, Cavalier can take out trebuchets pretty easily. War wagons are not so great against siege. And castles are such an important building. In Age of Empires as a whole, but low elo, castles are terrifying for people. They don't know how to handle castles. Castles are the most important building at times. And now blue says, it's my turn. I'm going to run in. Is blue going to get this? No, blue's not going to get this trebuchet. Nice repair job there from red, though actually he's repairing the castle, but still. So we'll likely see red lose this castle, but red has a lot more army right now. And blue is getting murder holes. He's getting murder holes. There goes the Cavalier, and boink. Nope. Still, trebs are up. So blue's having a tough time finding a way to take out these trebs right now. So it's likely that this castle will go down. Also, blue is able to get 2 relics this game, something I should have pointed out. It's so funny to me how there's 15 pikemen here because blue decided to scout with a knight earlier. I was judging that and laughing about how silly that was, but the fact that it is forced a reaction like this is next level, as we say, man. Red must have set the gather point back here and didn't remember. Anyways, we could see both players lose their castles in the middle at this rate. I love the hand cannon choice. So blue, I think, had added the ranges and research chemistry, knowing Burgundian hand cannons are very strong. They do more damage than any other hand cannon. But the problem for blue is you can't easily push into towers and castles with hand cannons. Blue's going to have to find a way. This position for red, gotta love how the fishing ships have been working all game. This position for red is pretty decent. But I do think red is going to need to realize that these trebuchets need to be saved. Here the Mangonel is going for a treb. Will actually get it. Wow, okay. Meanwhile, trebs are going down here for red. Red's going to lose all 3. And blues is still standing. Dang. What a good game. Also, blue with the bit of micro, pulling the paladins back into the hand cannons. I like it. If you're red, I would say continue to make war wagons here. War wagons are going to be your friend. I think war wagon Halb is one of the best compositions with the Koreans. Obviously, you do not want to give up the middle. You're the only one with a castle right now. I think red has totally forgotten to look home and doesn't realize the pikemen are there. And what's benefiting blue is how good the economy setup is in comparison. 26 on food, 26 on gold, 17, 17. So red was, as I explained it, very focused in the middle throughout Castle Age and didn't spend quite as much time looking at home with the economy. 2 stables pumping paladins, not bad. The ranges are also producing hand cannons. Part-time gamers playing like a pro right now. Continuous production, really good army composition as well, and I think Fantastic is slowly falling apart here. For the Koreans, they have their stone mining bonus, their villagers see a bit further, but they cannot compete with the options of the Burgundians. It's all about getting a snowball going, being campy, dragging the game out, and we have the GG. Fantastic says, GG, I have to leave. And then blue says GG. Isn't that the classic? Now, it is possible. Maybe Fantastic has somewhere to go. But that also could be red not wanting to accept that the game is actually over. He's like, yeah, listen, I wish I had the time. I wish I had the time to continue to play this one because I'm pretty sure I could win. But you know what? I have to go do something. I have to go to work, all right? I'm not even a part-time gamer. I'm a casual gamer. I don't have time like you. Get a job, scrub. That's funny. Good game, though. It was a very good game. Yeah, maybe, I mean, at the time we've ended this, and maybe it's 1:30 for me, so maybe like that half-hour mark he had to actually do something. I do think Blue would have closed this out. I mean, the resources were absolutely insane, and I love the flow of this game. I like how both players had focus on the middle. For Blue, definitely, he definitely seems to be a player which would probably be more suited for standard land maps, and so he was able to play it as a standard land map, just like the Burgundians would like. For Red was able to do a great job with the fishing ships and the towers, but I think attacking the ram with the villagers in Castle Age was a bit of a brain fart. Castle could have been up a little bit faster, and I also think Red was just too distracted. Once Blue got the castle up, it was clear to me, like, Red so focused on sending units to the middle and dealing with it, but nothing was actually happening that much. And then we didn't see horse color all game. We didn't see Red really invest into a lot of farms. It was a solid one, though. Lots to learn from there. 83 to 45 KD. Oh, yeah, I have to go call my girlfriend. Yeah, that's classic. And then there's the resources brought in. Blue played towards the Burgundian strengths. Brought in quite a bit of relic gold as well, but it was the food gold and stone eco. And then this is the sign of an economy that is distracted. All the way up to the highest level, if they end the game with more wood but nothing else, typically when you're creating more villas, you're sending most of them to wood, and then you pull them off wood to do certain things. So you pull them off of wood to add farms, pull them off of wood to make a mining camp for gold or stone. And so again, Red was just distracted there. I am curious what the APM says. Whoa, Mr. Speedy over here. Yeah, I mean, it says that they're pretty much the same speed. I think for Bluey, he did seem to be a little bit more active, at least with his scout, which would probably account for some of the differences here. EAPM is always a little bit tricky. Obviously, it's not like he probably like used a scroll wheel or something at this point. But I think overall they were still pretty close.